All right, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. I've got some crappy news. Allergies are real bad here in Southeast Texas right now, so if I sound hoarse, that's why. All right, good news. I got all the O-rings in for this autococker. So I'm gonna try and rebuild it for you guys today and show you where everything goes. Bad news is, I finally got the front block apart. I don't remember, or I don't know if you remember from the last video, I couldn't figure out how to get this apart. So this part just slides through here, the piece that attaches it to the frame. We're good to go there. My issue is that as I was taking off the low pressure regulator, I went to grab it, and this little barb fitting decided it wanted to crumble in my hand. So it just snapped right off. Not entirely sure why. I thought these were replaceable and like threaded in, but I don't see how to grab onto it. My only thought is to maybe get some kind of extractor drill bit, or I may just end up getting a whole new low pressure regulator for it, but we'll see. So just recap in the video, I'm going to put together all these O-rings and everything up to that last low pressure regulator. So I won't be able to do the timing, and I won't be able to actually pressurize it to make sure that all of this works, but we're going to hope that it does. So in the meantime, we can get started with all these O-rings. Now, my kit that I got didn't get new O-rings for the front block, but it looks okay, so I'm not going to worry about that unless it leaks, and then eventually I'll have to get O-rings for it as well. But let's see, I can show you here. So on the pressure regulator coming in, I'm assuming this is high pressure regulator coming in from the bottle. There was a bevel washer stack in here that we talked about last time. I drew it out so I wouldn't, forget as I took this thing apart. Oh man, I thought I cleaned all this. So I cleaned most of this. Let me clean the rest of it. Just use some isopropyl alcohol. It'll evaporate rather quickly. It won't hang around. It won't destroy stuff. So go ahead and wipe that shaft down, get all the gunk out of it. Some of these parts were really dirty. So yeah, went ahead and cleaned everything up. Isopropyl, good old toothbrush here. Seemed to do the trick pretty well. I'll be right back. Grab a paper towel. Make sure this is good. Alright, so I guess that's the first thing I'm going to put on here. So low pressure regulator, I got this blue O-ring here. Sadly, I've read recently that you probably shouldn't use these color-coded blue, or these color-coded O-rings. I've heard they're not as good a quality, which is kind of sad, but hopefully they'll last for a little while until I've got to rebuild this thing again, and then next time it'll go quickly. Get just a little bit of lube on there. Okay, that O-ring's on. I'm gonna set it down. This O-ring is also part of the low pressure regulator, or high pressure. I'm gonna say that's the high pressure. It's set down inside this cup, so I'm just gonna rub a little bit of grease around it and put it in place. Set it over here where it will go. Working up from the high pressure air inlet. This next piece here. Okay. Bigger O-ring on top. Okay, all those will stack together here in a minute. So we'll go ahead and put that back together. So that's going to be your foregrip / your high pressure air inlet regulator. So as I mentioned, I've got the bevel stack here kind of drawn out. You've got against the body here is convexed in towards it, or what is that? It's concave, but yeah, whatever. The the shape of the cone looks like this as you stack it up. I'm having a hard time trying to explain what I want to say here. But because I didn't take this stack apart, I know that it'll just slip back together. Here's what that looks like all put together. Yeah. Okay, that all goes into this piece here. Okay. I've got a spring and a regulator set screw. Bottom half of that regulator, where the air inlet goes. I noticed this has Teflon tape on it, so if it leaks when I go to put it together here in a week or two, when I figure out the low pressure regulator situation, I may have to retape all of these. We'll see if that one seals. I was a little questionable about the O-ring that was showing to go on here. Yeah, but I guess we'll see. All right, we'll set this up to the side. All right, next up, the poppet valve. It's only got one O-ring on the front here, so that doesn't take much. That looks way too big. Interesting. So this is the size that I found on the internet and said it was supposed to fit here. But it's not sitting down in that groove, so I don't know if that's the actual size. It seems to fit better. I'm actually going to look that up. Okay. It's supposed to be an O12, which I believe is what this is. Okay. And the rest of the valve just sits in here. And then eventually, when I put it back in, there's a spring for the front that holds it closed. All right, set that over there. All right, we'll go ahead and do the ram next. Again, just regular O-ring, just getting everything back on. Okay. Little dab will do. Ha. That is a Flintstones reference. I'm sure most of you got that. Okay, and we'll do the bolt. And the last thing, this one's going to be tricky because it's teeny tiny. You can see these down here, teeny tiny O-rings. Forgot what size I said these are, but I think they're like a 003, like teeny. But they go in this three-way valve, which is a super important piece on this autococker. So I'm gonna have fun trying to get this over here. And you can watch me fight with it. Or not, you know, you can always skip forward, I don't know, 10, 20 seconds or so. I might still be fighting with it at that point, but we'll see. One on there. Try to go from the other way. There we go. Alright, let's get all this lube off my hands. Making me crazy. All right, that's it for O-rings. So I think I said earlier in the video I was actually going to put it back together, but I think I'm gonna do a separate video for that. It will probably directly follow this one, but we're at 15 minutes, and that's I think that's long enough.